Welcome here, everybody. The topic today is perhaps a little different than typical ones that you may have seen relative to IT, and that is I want to focus on how to tell which processes are easy to analyze and easy to improve, as opposed to which ones give you the most bang for the buck. So it's quite common to see analysis techniques for which projects should I take on, which are the, which ones does the boss like, that sort of thing. But we're going to focus here on the ones that are likely to succeed, and is it possible to do that? And when it comes to IT, there are many, many processes. So I've been both a user of IT services for much of my life, and I ran a software company for a while, so I was on the other end of getting all of the complaints and hassles and irritations that people give to us as IT professionals who say, well, how come it can't do this? When am I going to get that? What's wrong with this? Why doesn't this do the way I expect it? So improving processes is a very useful thing in the IT world, especially if you are in a position where you have competition. And who doesn't? So if you're an internal IT shop, your competition is extinction. Right? Your company can decide to outsource the entire function. If you were in a company that provides outsourced services, then you have other companies who are knocking at your client's doors saying that they can do it better. So we all have competition one way or another. And having been a constant user of IT services, I know that IT takes the blame for many, many things in companies, whether that's fair or not. So I think that the IT world does not do enough to be aware of their own processes and the company processes that they support, and they don't do enough to improve them. And so this is aimed at hoping that you will take a cue and do more of that. Process improvement really should be easy. You can tell by my big red ha there that conceptually it is easy to do. In practice, there are all kinds of things that make process improvement tough. And this is the second time I've done a presentation for CAI. The first one was about data, process data. So there I focused on the nature of the data that you have, so that you can be aware of how that data affects your ability to assess processes and analyze them and all that sort of stuff. Today, so it's not necessary to know that for understand today's talk, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. That's one of the pre-recordings that will be on CAI's website. So since we all know that if you're presented with a list of projects to do, that all of them aren't going to be equally easy. And is there an analytical way of telling which ones are easier than which other ones? There's very good reasons for wanting to know this, and not the least of which is anybody who has ever started a job or started a new assignment, which includes, I'm sure, all of you. We all know that for the purposes of your own career success, you want the first things that you do to succeed. There's nothing worse than having your first projects fail. That could be a career-limiting move in a company. So everybody wants quick successes. Another condition where quick successes are a big deal are we're starting a new initiative. Perhaps we're starting a process improvement initiative. And we're going to have some first projects to do, and the whole team wants those first projects to succeed. So is there a way for us to get some sense, not for what are the best ones to do, but which ones are most likely to succeed? So that's what we're going to focus on here. And if you don't recognize that little guy down at the windmill, we all learned about him in high school. I won't tell you who he is. You can Google him. So since we're talking about improving processes, let's start with what a definition of what a process is. And so a process is simply a series of steps that we do that produce outputs. And in order to do that, they require inputs. So inputs get transformed into outputs. And if we have outputs, we have them for a reason, and that's because there's a customer someplace that needs them. So it's very simply, at a high level, a transformational process. So I can show that as a single block diagram, and I'm going to show you some diagrams later that won't be one blocks, but we'll discuss them. So let me expand on that a little bit and talk about what processes aren't. Right? They're not your department. They're not functional areas. They're not the software. They're not a software package. They're not a hardware platform. They are not a communication system. They are the flow of transactions. If I were talking to a group of manufacturers, I would say they're the flow of products. So for us, they are the flow of transactions where there are certain inputs that come in and we do something to them and produce outputs. Now here's a little picture that shows 4 different processes. Each process has some objective, and over on the right of the picture you can see a little group of people. Those are the customers. These processes cross department lines. So it's quite rare that an entire business process is contained within one department. That certainly can happen, but that's not the typical thing. So when you're looking at things within your department, making your department more efficient, you are most likely talking about making some piece of a business process efficient. Or even worse, you're talking about maximizing how efficient your process is, or I'm sorry, about your department is, irrespective of the processes that you are working on, which is essentially a recipe for eventual company failure. Unfortunately, our systems of rewards and punishment within companies frequently encourage us to maximize the efficiency of departments rather than the efficiency of our processes. We don't want to do that. So since we're IT people, processes also frequently cross applications. So the performance of an application is not a suitable goal. It certainly has a role, and it may be a suitable sub-goal, but it is not typically a suitable goal from the point of view of our customers. They really don't care how efficient your applications are. They care how well they get their needs met and what they see are the outputs of your business processes. So we're going to cross application lines, and we are probably going to cross platform lines. So our processes are going to cross all of the things that we typically assign people to be responsible for. So we have department managers, we have people in charge of platforms, we have people in charge of applications, and all those people think that their job is to make that stuff work well. And my assertion is that that's not their job at all. They're all subcontractors, and their job is to make the fundamental business processes work well. And maximizing the efficiency of their particular platform or their particular software or their particular